Sup, guys?
Hello everyone, and welcome to the inevitable follow-up to what I'd like to see in Resident Evil 2, with what I'd like to see in Sonic Mania's inevitable follow-up. I'm Steve.
And I'm Jay, proud owner of 100+ hours on Sonic Heroes. Yeah, I'm pretty hardcore.
You sad bastard. I'm more of a fan of Sonic in a casual sense, but you know, we thought we'd get like two different aspects on this one. Anyway, as I said before, the opinions stated in this video are ours, and that's cool. Your opinions can be entirely different, just don't be a dickhead about it, okay? Different opinions, good. Yes?
And if you want to be a bucket of fuck cheese and Buddy Sega, Sonic Team, Christian Whitehead, Pagoda West, or anybody else, don't, because that's no good.
So without further ado,
let's blast through with Sonic speed.
Quite.
First thing I'd like to see is actually concept art or gallery stuff. The Sonic series is a really good looking series of games, especially the classic games, especially Sonic Mania. And one of the things I'm kind of disappointed about is a lack of development materials. Some of the concept art that has been released for Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and some of the things you can get in Sonic Generations that are actually unlockable in the game are absolutely beautiful pieces of art, and I'd like to see that kind of development stuff for Sonic Mania, or, you know, its sequel.
Okay, so kind of like development stuff. Basically, what, like a developer interview thing? Is that out of the question as well? Or like, you know, vignettes and things?
Well, interviews tend to be a bit more niche and a bit more sort of specific. But if there's any kind of interesting material for a making of, like little video segments, possibly. But the art, you know, colourful pictures to look at, definitely a plus.
What about the stuff like kind of what Valve does? You can play the game as it is, but it's like little icons you can find around the world, and I'll have like voice clips about how you make the game.
Possibly as a separate mode, which...
like a commentary mode. That's literally what they are.
Maybe. That does lead me on to another thing I'd like to see, which is actually more modes. Okay, so Sonic Mania had a time attack mode that was actually great. I'd like to see more sort of a focus on your old school sort of scoring modes, like maybe score attack as well as the time attack, or perhaps even more multiplayer modes. You know, have the players engage with the levels together in different ways. Like an emerald hunt, hide a Chaos Emerald in the stages like the old 8-bit games, in a random place or one of many set places. First player to actually find it is the winner. Or even something like the Tony Hawk games have Horse, where you're given a small section of level and one player completes it as fast as they can, and then the next, you know, player 2's turn is like they've got to do it even faster, and then player 1's got to do it even faster, and if you fail, you get a letter for Horse, and whoever loses is the horse. That kind of thing. Okay.
What about a boss rush or something like that as well?
Oh, boss rushes are great. Yeah, that kind of... it's established in Sonic Adventure 2, and I think the original Sonic Adventure, they had boss rushes. Also, because Sonic Mania is born of the Sonic modification and hacking community, there was a good Sonic 2 hack called Robotnik's Revenge that was basically a boss rush in Death Egg Zone of all the Sonic 1 and 2 bosses, and it was great.
Okay, fair enough. Funny you mention the modding community, because, you know, I'd like to see expansion on the, like, modding aspects and taking debug mode and maybe building not quite Super Mario Maker levels, but a proper level builder for your amateurs. Maybe opening it up a bit more to people making their own fan levels, like your Happy Wheelses and stuff like that, where there's like homemade, homebrew levels that could be challenges for Sonic to throw through a pit of spikes or something.
Some modification tool does actually make a lot of sense, because Sonic Mania has already been very extensively modified. There are no official tools available for it, they're all third party, but embracing that kind of creativity on behalf of the fanbase, I think would be a very wise move for Sega.
And they're all about pleasing the fans, it seems, what with Mania and Forces.
That's what Sonic Mania was. Another thing I would like to see in a Sonic Mania follow-up is playable Amy Rose. Might be an unpopular thing because the Sonic series has been overdone with characters over the years, but Amy Rose would be a great addition to the cast. I'm talking classic Amy Rose as well. She could be a good target for the unlockable moves in Sonic Mania, the 3NK and CD moves, the Insta Shield and Super Peel Out respectively. Classic Amy Rose was introduced in Sonic CD, appeared in Sonic the Fighters, Sonic R. I feel like she's a good fit for that general sort of era they were going for with Sonic Mania's whole aesthetic.
Well, there's that one boss in Mania, isn't it? With like the mini Sonic 2 bosses and Amy Rose like dolls that blow up on you. So she technically would have that aesthetic in that time period. I'm saying time period because they're now in alternate dimensions.
She'd just be a great fit. Spiritually follow up to Sonic 3 and Knuckles before Sonic Mania was a thing, would have been the first Sonic Advance game. And Amy Rose was playable in that. On top of Sonic, Tails and Knuckles. She had her own moveset, which she was sort of slower, didn't have the spin attack. She had the Pico Hammer, which was functionally the same as the Insta Shield, which is something that I would actually like to see again.
What, like kind of like Cuphead's parry system, where you like just press the button when you're in midair, you have like a quick swift.
Something like that. It required good reactions, was a sort of high execution kind of attack that would make Amy a badass, if I'm honest, and that's actually kind of cool.
Sonic gets its first tanky badass character in 2D form.
Awesome.
Amy Rose is cool and all, yeah, new playable character, but the standout for Mania for me was the villains, the hardboard heavies. And I think another crack at that concept would be fantastic.
The hardboiled heavies were great.
You know, animals. We haven't had an antagonistic animal in the 2D verse since Knuckles. I'm thinking we take maybe Fang the Sniper, Knack the Weasel, Bok the Bear.
Polar Bear. They were in Mania, dude.
Semantics. It was the heavy thing.
Magician.
Right, the heavy magician, yeah. Okay, that's cool and all. What about MAYTE the Armadillo? He was in Knuckles Chaotix.
Yeah, and not sure where you're going with this.
And nothing since. So we take MAYTE, he comes in and he's sort of aware, not Deadpool aware, but he's aware he has been neglected and basically cut out of the franchise and is embittered by it and is now wanting to take on everyone. Like, kick everyone's ass.
Okay.
You know, a very comically bitter angle where he's trying to sabotage Eggman, Sonic, trying to go against everybody. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. You know what this reminds me of? Okay, so I'm going to bring up Sonic Heroes here.
Oh dear.
When Takashi Iizuka wanted to bring back the Chaotix team for Sonic Heroes, notably not MAYTE, he did actually rewrite their personalities from what was established in the Japanese manual for Knuckles Chaotix. So doing that with MAYTE, it is kind of like that, but he doesn't really have so much of an established personality. I think we can get away with that.
So an embittered MAYTE trying to take them all down, maybe with the Sonic the Fighters goons. Yeah?
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll think of an animal name later. You know, a team name. We've got the hardboard heavies, maybe the Mad, Angry, Mostly Mammals.
One thing that was going to be my first point in this video, but I thought I'd keep the suspense, leave it till later. It's my biggest, most powerful wish for Sonic Mania 2 is original zones. I gotta say, original zones, the newly created ones for Sonic Mania, were the very finest stages in the entire game. Studiopolis was aesthetic AF. Mirage Saloon was great, especially Act 2 and Knuckles' own Act 1. Press Garden was amazing, especially Act 2. Act 2 was great, and Titanic Monarch was the finale I hoped for in the entire game. They were great acts. I want more of that kind of creativity, more of that whole vision, more of the art. I just want more new for Sonic Mania 2.
So basically, let's take what Sonic the Hedgehog 2 did and make entirely new zones.
Yeah, with the exception of Emerald Hill was just Green Hill Zone in development.
Damn it.
I'd also like them to reel that shit in, by which I mean the length of some of the acts. Now, there weren't very many offenders in Sonic Mania, but one particularly early and egregious one I feel is Flying Battery Zone. Now, I know some people like long acts. I propose a bit of a compromise. Well, the reason I like shorter acts is because I speedrun these games. I spent a lot of time in Sonic Mania on the time trial mode, and shorter acts are very conducive to repeating them over and over to get a faster time, to get on the leaderboards. And now my compromise is to put short but very challenging routes in these stages.
So like a high execution threshold for short times.
Yeah, speedrunners generally have a lot of skill. If you watched any GDQ sort of marathons or whatever, you'll notice that a lot of them have insane amounts of skill. Even a low tier sort of speedrunner like myself, I like a challenge. And if there's a shorter but more challenging route through these levels, I'm going to take them. You can put that in while still leaving the sort of epic journey through the zone that is something like, say, Flying Battery or Hydrosity or Lava Reef. Big bonus is if there are shorter but harder routes and you've played the game a few times and there's an act that you really don't want to lose your time in and explore, take the shorter but harder route. I just want them to give me a way to sort of reel that shit in so I'm not spending another 4 minutes on Flying Battery Zone.
So I'm kind of seeing like a, you know how Earthworm Jim had the whole wimp stud thing?
Yeah.
It's that kind of mechanic with less signposting, yeah?
Very much so.
Right, the new stages were amazing, but I'm not totally against throwback stages. I'd argue we twist them as well. Like, we take unpopular children, really unlikable stages, like, say, Carnival Night Zone with its Barrel of Doom, and
Labyrinth Zone with its Labyrinth Zone.
Labyrinth Zone with its Labyrinth Zone. Marble Zone with its slow, boring purple lava jumping on a block waiting for half an hour. Taking these stages and making them into fun stages, like real challenge stuff. Taking fun stages like Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone, Flying Battery Zone, they were already fairly good anyway. Let's up the challenge factor a bit and make shit stages good again.
Part of the main thing about rehashing zones known to be good is it's a little bit safe, it's a little bit expected. I think remaking unpopular zones, or maybe zones that haven't got much coverage, goes completely with my idea of having more new things. Less familiarity and more new stuff.
While we're at it, maybe more love for the Master System and handheld games. Bridge Zone remastered.
Yeah, some of the 8-bit zones were pretty damn good and very unrecognised. Sonic Triple Trouble on the Game Gear had MAYTE Junglera Zone, Sunset Park, Aquaplanet. There were some great zones there. Let's see them in good old new stroke retro graphics. So while we're on throwbacks, I got an idea for you. This one may receive mixed reception. Sonic Mania had Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine Easter egg.
Yeah.
As the Chemical Plant Zone boss. It was great. I was so glad to see it because I'm a big fan of both that and the Puyo Puyo series. What about more throwbacks to like the Sonic series? What about special stages in the vein of Sonic Drift? Except with the whole Mario Kart Mode 7 thing going off, or even an isometric Sonic 3D stroke Sonic Labyrinth thing. I mean, it doesn't have to be as bad as Sonic Labyrinth because that was a bad game, but return to the whole idea because it's part of this series' whole very rich, very varied history.
And that does kind of, you know, it suits the theme of Sonic Mania, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, right, Sonic games are cool and all, but what about throwbacks to other Sega properties? I mean, we've got flashier consoles running Mania, right? Yes. Maybe we take a cutesy version of Panzer Dragoon. I mean, that's technically what the Tornado stages in Sonic Adventure were, yeah? Maybe make a Tornado-style stage with the aesthetic of the Mania special stages?
I'm not entirely sure about references to the whole Sonic Adventure thing, because that does feel somewhat removed from where Sonic Mania was going. But Sega do have a very varied back catalogue from the 80s of stylistically compatible things they can make reference to and draw from, such as Fantasy Zone or Space Harrier. I'd like to see some of that. There was a hint of it in Sonic Mania's special stages. Maybe we could see a bit more. I don't know.
Maybe a Mode 7 running race that apes Outrun with Sonic versus Metal Sonic.
That would be pretty damn cool.
And obviously we have to take Sonic Heroes to its natural zenith and make it into a Streets of Rage clone.
You know the really good thing about Sonic Mania was it was a game by Sonic fans, for Sonic fans. I am really glad you weren't involved.
Oh, thanks, man.
You're welcome.
So yeah, that was what I'd like to see, or rather, what we'd like to see in Sonic Mania's inevitable follow-up.
Just gotta throw out a big thank you to Sega, Christian Whitehead, Headcanon, Pagoda West Games, without which we wouldn't even be having this video because they made Sonic Mania. They brought a lot of joy into both of our lives, they brought a lot of joy into a lot of people's lives, and that's why we want another.
Now here's the part of the video where we throw the question back to you. What are the things you'd like to see? in a Sonic Mania follow-up.
Yeah, tell us in the comments. Have a good old discussion about what you really want to see in another Sonic Mania game.
Kinda as the rule of law is for what I'd like to see videos, don't expect any of this to happen. We're overly optimistic, but at the same time, we've got to keep it real. It may never happen, and that's still cool. Sonic Mania is proof that these people know what the fuck they're doing.
Sega do sometimes listen to their fans. Dreams have been known to come true.
So by all means, share it on like Reddit and stuff. So yeah, this has been what I'd like to see, Sonic Mania. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
See you later, guys. Keep it classy.